And then she just disappeared. I think Seamus is hiding her in his dorm.
All right, fair enough.
I don't think he's not seeing multiple women at the same time. I can see him recovering quickly after one situation ends.
So you've got him like every third day.
Right? It doesn't work out. Oh no. Okay, hey Stella. Like,
yeah, I don't. So I don't.
which
I
is
think
very
all of them.
different from Ron.
Well, here's the thing: shorter men tend to want to prove themselves a lot. I can see him being the first of the group to start dating.
Absolutely.
So that's why in my head, he was never single. He just didn't have a straight girlfriend.
Which is why she was never really mentioned.
Right. They could, even the writer couldn't keep up with his change in girlfriends.
Where Dean is very much like, this is my girl. This is
Right.
I think he would have married Ginny if Harry hadn't existed. I think he would have
Really
totally give married my high school sweetheart vibes.
Oh, he does.
Absolutely.
He does. And it would have been a good marriage.
Yeah.
And I'm a Harry Ginny fan, but I think Dean and Ginny would have been a good pair.
Yeah. I do like Harry and Ginny because I think we needed that.
Right? Okay, so let's go back to first year. What was it first? What year did Harry get detentions? Was that
all 6 years? What?
I'm thinking when he had like a series.
You 3.
Maybe it was 3. But I'm just thinking like every time Harry wasn't in the dorm, there's the 4 of them. Neville could be there, could not be there. Because I think Neville would hang out in the common area. Neville would go be with the plants. Neville, I think Neville had some stuff. But I can see the 3 of them playing chess. I can see Dean teaching them Muggle card games. I can see
honestly
Ron trying out some of his brother's jokes on the 2 of them.
I can see what you're seeing, but not even with Harry in detention. Harry at Quidditch practice. With Harry going away to Quidditch practice all the time, it really did leave Ron time to, especially when he wasn't hanging out with Hermione because she was in the library,
right?
To have to hang around with Dean and Seamus quite a bit.
Yeah, I mean, I think because we always see it from Harry's point of view, you forget about all the other things happening when Harry's not involved.
Mm-hmm.
And
we always focus on best friends. We forget that people, even when they have best friends, still have friends.
Like the circle of friends, yeah. I think that this little circle would have been so much fun to watch. Like, I think the 3 of them would make a hysterical TV show.
Well, and even though we're book focused, I love the scene that they added in the 3rd one of that dorm just hanging out and trying weird deeds, because those kind of moments make it feel more realistic and make these characters have a little bit just not even growth or depth. They're just be regular people. They're not constantly fighting the Dark Lord.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Because think about it, even if you think about the number of hours in a year that Harry is focused on the Dark Lord, there's still a whole lot of school year around that. These guys had a whole lot of other shit to do.
Yeah.
So which one of
Dear Dark Lord, I only give you 1 month's worth of my 9-month school year. I cannot focus on you. I've got algebra. Thank you for playing.
They don't have
you see that meme, right? Where it's like, oh, Voldemort really cared about Harry's education. He always waited until the end of the year to do something.
Right? So who of the 3 do you think was the one helping the other 2 with homework assignments?
Oh,
Dean was definitely the one helping the other 2.
Yeah.
Now, why do you think that? Because my initial gut said Dean, but then I was like, what makes us think Dean is the smartest of the 3?
it's not smartest, it's process of elimination. We see Ron doing his homework and he hates doing homework and he's not very good at it. Whenever we see Seamus in class, he's blowing something up. So process of elimination, the one that doesn't actively hate it and isn't blowing shit up, Dean is helping both of them.
Now, see, here's what I thought through when I thought of this question. My gut immediately went, Dean. And I was like, wait, this is magical classes. The only one with magical background education prior to school is Ron, who hates it, and Seamus. So Seamus may not be good at practical application, but as far as writing papers, looking stuff up, knowing the information, it's probably Seamus.
I mean, but think about the age that they are. How much American history could you just spout at 11? Like you're told the basics and then you're learning.
The wrong person.
So it's right.
Yeah. But no, you know what? Let me. Here's my thinking. Here's my thinking why I said Dean. And it's not the Seamus blows up thing because we've already talked about the fact that that only happened like once in the books. But it's more along the lines, Ron is not bad at homework. He doesn't like it. So he's going to avoid it at all costs. Seamus is not as blown away or impressed by magic because he's seen it his entire life. I think Dean, especially in the first few years, would probably work the hardest because this is all new to him and all new and exciting. And his homework, much like Harry's reaction to the homework, when your homework is reading about witch burnings and learning that they just did a tickling spell, you are much more impressed by that when that's new information and you want to know more and you want to study more and you want to like prove you're good at this.
Yeah.
So that's why I think.
Okay. And I'm not arguing that he's not. I said,
right.
When I thought of the question, I was like, we're all immediately going to say Dean. Part of it is we all love Dean. Part of it is Dean comes across as very teacher.
Yeah. He comes across as very together. He's one of those kids that the teachers would write in his thing like, oh, he's very mature for his age.
Yeah.
Like he just gives off.
Absolutely. So, and being the oldest of 6 sisters, he also probably has a maturity, an emotional maturity that the others just don't and never will have.
I just had a vision. I can see Dean taking his sisters to Seamus's house in the summers because they can't prove that Seamus and Dean are doing magic when they're in a magical house, and showing off magic to his little sisters because Dean's all excited to have someone who cares about the magic. And I mean, Seamus is all excited about someone who cares about his magic, and there's all these girls around. And Dean's just so excited to have something he can share with his sisters who are not magical. Like, I can totally see that scenario of their summers.
Okay, so that just assignment to a listener of a one shot of that afternoon, because that would just be so sweet.
But also created a whole new headcanon. Do we know who Seamus ends up with?
Because no, I do not.
Because my new headcanon is that it's definitely one of Dean's sisters. And so Dean has to go through that whole mental process, realizing what Ron went through, but he's a little bit older and more mature about it.
Well, yes, he is. And yes. Okay.
Yes. And I'll say, go ahead.
No, go ahead, because mine is the next question.
Okay. Well, mine was a new question, too. With that in mind, what was Dean and Ron's relationship like when Ron found out? Because Ron didn't find out that much more before they broke up. But Dean was just sitting there minding his own business in the common room. And Ron came in pissed off at Dean. And Dean had no idea why. What happened with that?
You know how when someone is like just completely gets under your nerves and you can't explain it, but just constantly. And whenever you see them, it's just like, oh, look at that big bitch, pick up a pencil. Like, I know that was Ron. Just like, what why are you writing so loud? Why are you do you write that loud with my sister? Like just
Yeah,
every little thing.
I think Ron would have, now we're talking book Ron. I think
Book.
he would have held in a lot, but it would have come out just like you said. Like, do you have to have the biggest feather in the room? God, it would never, the word Ginny, the word sister, the word dating, none of these would have ever crossed Ron's lips. But Dean would have been like, okay, you are so pissed at me and I don't know why.
Right.
When he figured it out, I think the emotionally mature Dean would have said, dude, can we talk? I respect your sister. Like he would have, I think Dean would have approached the conversation and tried to have it. And Ron would have been like, yeah, okay, let's not ever talk about this again. Just don't let me see it. And he would have walked away. Like that's
Yep.
I think it would
100%.
have changed their friendship. I really don't think it would have changed their friendship if even it had lasted longer than the week and a half it did past that conversation.
And I think it was definitely a little bit of a relief for both of them, even though Dean was heartbroken. It was a little bit of a relief for both of them when that wasn't a factor anymore. And then she immediately dates Harry.
Yeah, I'm still a
You know
factor
what's
for Ron,
funny?
but whatevs.
I could see Ron at like hearing the breakup from Dean the next day at the lunchroom being like, hey Dean, you want a muffin? You know what I mean? Like, I feel for you, bro, and I want
Hey,
you to
man,
know it's cool, but I'm not
you,
going to do it in any way that makes sense. I'm going to give you a blueberry muffin.
Right?
you look nice in that top that we're all wearing.
Right?
Right?
Your tie looks exceptionally straight today, Dean.
Hey.
let's fast forward to, thank God they all survived the war.
Yeah.
We've talked a lot about people getting together, seeing each other post-war. You know, Luna and Harry have their, whenever Luna comes into town, we're going to get together. What do you think or how often, if at all, do these three get together? Even if it is where we add Neville in, not necessarily Harry, though. How often do you see these three interacting? And do we know what they all did as adults? Like we know what
we know what Ron did. I don't think we know what Seamus and Dean did, do we?
I kind of want one of them to have a job on Diagon Alley, so they like just pop into the store every once in a while to say hi.
I've read enough fan fiction to say that I like Dean as an elementary school teacher and children's book author. I'm just putting that out there.
I am not familiar with fan fiction, but I accept that.
It just works with his personality, and I think that way he's in Diagon Alley a lot because he's doing book signings or he's taking the kids on trips.
Wow, you had that fully formed.
It's fully formed in my head. I see fan fiction Dean has become a beautiful, beautiful man. And I'm not talking about his looks. I'm talking, he's just so freaking sweet. But yeah, here's the problem. I think they were so high school close. But just like when you graduate from high school and you go to college after that first year, that first summer, everybody gets back together. And then that second summer, those that can get back together. And then by the time y'all graduated, you're sending each other congratulations cards. Like, I think Seamus and Dean stayed in touch. I even think Dean would have stayed in touch with each person individually. But I don't think there was ever a night where Ron picked up the flu or opened the flu. I was going to say pick up a phone, but opened the flu or picked up a phone because both houses would have had it and called and said, hey guys, you want to get together?
Like, I think there would have been one. I think with everything that they went through, there was one night, maybe 2 or 3 years after they graduated, where I keep wanting to say Ron, even though that doesn't seem consistent with his personality, but Ron
enough after
to like the boys of the dorm, and they just have a rip rollin' night.
Yeah, but see, I can see him doing that for the boys of the dorm, which means Harry and
right.
I'm saying, can you see a chance of any time where the three of them would have said, just the three of us, let's go.